Hey ladies, it's Will. I just wanted to hop on here and say thank you for tuning into the first episode of Me, Myself, and Why. For right now, it is just me and Alexis, but we will be having some special guests on in the near future. And if you wanted to listen to just the audio version, if you're driving in your car or doing dishes, what may have you, you can listen on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. We're going to share our Buzzsprout link down below, as well as we'll have some timestamps down in the description so you can kind of hop around the YouTube video. But thank you again for tuning in, and we're excited to see you next week.
Last time you sat with us, I was a different person. I was a different girl. I was also airing out all of my dirty laundry
Me too.
on the
Like
internet.
a little too much.
I think me and Alexis have both committed ourselves to a little bit more betterment of ourselves. Anyways, we're not as involved in drama anymore.
That's okay.
Except Alexis got in a bar fight.
Healing era.
Um,
Yeah, I did, but it's okay. Okay.
so we don't have a name for this new podcast yet. By the time it comes out, there will be a name. But if you haven't noticed, we have video now.
I can see how sweaty I am.
Yeah, girl, we went boxing today.
We did go boxing, and then we went on a walk, several walks.
We went on 2 walks. We went on a walk to Sweet Green, and then we went on a walk to to the apple juice store. So we're restructuring a little bit. Our new structure, we're gonna start with our favorite Nextdoor or Citizen headline, which if you don't know what that is, it's like an app. Essentially, it tells you things about your neighborhood.
You should get it.
Yes, you should get it.
You should get it.
Don't think too hard into it because there are a lot of fucked headlines.
I just got a citizen alert.
See, pop it open really quick, and so we're just gonna choose our favorite. This one we're just gonna read off the cuff.
Okay. This is in your neighborhood.
Slay.
4 sheriff deputies injured in. Oh. That's not funny. But there was a mobile shooting and a range fire.
So anyway, there was a shooting.
Yeah.
So
28 miles away. Never mind. I don't know where it thinks I am.
okay, but still, you get the gist with Citizen.
Yeah. Just lets you know whenever it's coming up.
So if you want to, I need to sift through mine. I need to get mine back in check, but so we're gonna start with a Nextdoor or a Citizen headline, and then we'll catch up, and then we're gonna have a topic every episode, and then we'll wrap up with something that kind of like changed our week or something that was good that we had throughout the week. So, Alexis, if you want to start us off with your Citizen or Nextdoor, what do you call it?
Headline?
Yes, your headline.
Okay. I couldn't think of the headline, but I do have my Nextdoor when I ended up on Nextdoor.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just start. So there's this neighborhood near where I live, Whitley Heights. I don't live in Whitley Heights. I would love to live in Whitley Heights. If you don't know what it looks like or where it is, it's kind of where the old Hollywood rock stars and movie stars used to live before they were living in the hills, okay? So I like to go on walks there. And the houses are very Spanish villa-esque.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's this cute little green cottage tucked away at the end of the street.
Sorry if you live here, by the way. We're airing your shit out.
Yeah. If you live there, I love your house, clearly, which is why I got in trouble. Cute little green cottage. Every time I see it, I was like, I need to take a picture of this. So I walked up. In order to like go into see the entire front house that's kind of turned this way, you kind of have to walk up to the front door, which is like tucked away. And I would stand in front of the house and take pictures of it. And I would go on daily walks. So I was doing this probably like 4 days in a row.
Hot girl walk.
Yeah, of taking the same picture. Just because it's so cute. Like I would go in the morning and it was like lime green. And then I would go at night and it had all these beautiful lights.
So Alexis was like walking and then goes.
Yeah. But I didn't know, because I didn't see, that this house had a very nice camera that was taking photos of me. And so the owner of the house posted me on Nextdoor. Well, okay, to be fair, if I dress very manly when I go on these walks to not get harassed. I have very much large hoodie.
Does it work?
Yeah,
Oh.
like XXL hoodie. It has like a Canadian University on it. I've never heard of it.
I feel like men usually aren't deterred by that.
Yeah, I guess. But like headphones and like hoodie on,
Yeah, incognito.
my tiny little black leggings.
Like airport.
Yeah, I'm trying not to make it sound so sexy because I really don't look that sexy. But when I'm taking these pictures, I'm like with my phone in front of my face too. The lady was asking if she knew who was taking pictures of her house, and that she felt threatened. And
Did she think you were casing her house?
She thought I was like playing. I was taking pictures of her house all different times of the day.
Okay, true. But also, Loki would take pictures of other sides of her house. Right. Like, if you were to case her house, you probably wouldn't stand in front of the fucking... Anyways, I understand.
Well,
I would be weirded out, too.
Yeah, well, I thought maybe, because, like, it's Hollywood. People take pictures of people's houses all day long.
Half of my camera almost like pictures of people's houses.
Yeah.
Because there's great architecture.
And I tried to show, like, appreciation in my face just in case there was a camera, like, sending it away, you know? It wasn't like I was trying to be sneaky.
So did you out yourself on Nextdoor?
Yeah, I did. I wrote under the comments, like,
The emoji?
So sorry. Hi, so sorry. Pondering emoji.
Right, you're like, that's me, girl.
I was like, I just really like your house. And then I'm like, I have text messages evidence of me sending your house to my friend saying, look how cute this is.
And she's like, oh, to your friends.
And so she took down the post.
Oh. Did she message you privately?
She did.
What'd she say?
She said, oh, sorry, didn't know, you know.
That's pretty tame. I feel like I would have lit somebody
It was
up.
a very, very old lady. Like, she didn't even have a profile picture.
Period.
But, yeah.
What was her name? Actually, don't give that out.
I was like, I just explained her house.
And what's her name? What she look like? You said she's old. What time is she home?
Anyway, if you ever see this house, don't take pictures of it. There's a huge ass fucking camera in the front.
Unless you dress like Alexis.
Yeah. But now I dress cute when I walk by her house, just in case.
And to stunt on her.
Yeah. But that's my next door listing. I'm sure you have something much more.
Mine's... I'm not going with crazy because I feel like I wanted this to be a more like... we will get into crazy ones, but this one's more lighthearted because there's like enough going on this week with the world. But almost said her name. So this is by, first of all, this old woman. Her profile picture is a parachute that looks like a smiley face.
Oh wow.
You know what? I'm gonna give her first name, Amelia. So she says 5 days ago. Horrified by the Exorcist posters all over the city, especially the ones placed near schools. They are vile and hard to look at as an adult. I am horrified that children are forced to see them daily. If anyone has any ideas on how to get them taken down, please share. I tried contacting the name of the company on the bus bench near Paul Revere, but couldn't find any contact info for them. And then somebody in the comment, newest comment, the movie sucked, end of story. And so the comments, everybody was like, lighting her up and being like, girl, it's a poster. Don't look. So let's see. She, like, one guy said, if you don't want to see the movie, ignore them. You have no grounds for your loathsome assertion. It's art and you want to censor it. No advertising seller cares about your position, I can assure you, and children love this stuff. The movie looks great. The Exorcist was a critically and financially successful film. And then she said, Daniel, I wish I could ignore them, but they've been placed in my kids' eye line. Girl, everything is in your eye line. Sorry.
Also, does she know her kids have probably seen worse?
Literally, your kids are probably... I'm sorry, your kids are probably jerking.
Your kids are jerking off right now.
Like, I ruined...
Like, go to their room.
Yes, I ruined the Dell computer growing up because with the combination of LimeWire and me... Anyways. I used to type in, when I'd be searching for illicit material, I would type in G space A space Y space P space O space RN because I thought that would like throw them off my trail if the FBI was looking for me.
That's pretty smart, actually. As a little kid.
But censorship is the fact that there can't be artistic movie posters showing nude bodies, but we are forced to look at demonic faces of satanic and bloodied faces. Who cares about that if the movie makes money? The post is about oh my god, images damaging to the psyche of small children. Girl,
Fuck
the
them
kids,
kids.
you know what? You know what we can chalk this up to? It ain't that deep.
It really is not.
It ain't that deep. And then she continues on to say that she's gonna talk, like she's gonna get to the heads of the production company, the movie. Girl, they don't care.
Oh, girl, they just
They're,
paid $8 million for that stupid ass poster to be up there.
Also, they're not gonna listen. Like you're not gonna get through them.
Miss Amelia.
I'm looking through the rest of her posts. Ooh, she had a slash tire. Ha. No, not ha. Okay. Anyways, so that was Nextdoor. It was pretty mild this week. It was a lot more mild than it has been.
We also live in two very different neighborhoods.
Well, I have alerts for my old neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like stabbing,
Yeah.
robbery,
Yeah.
robbery, stabbing, robbery, stabbing. I was walking outside I was with my roommate and our friend, or three friends. And we were walking outside of Bottega Louie, which is like a pastry shop and a cafe. And we turned the corner, and this man is clutching his side because he got stabbed like moments before. And business as usual. Okay, on that note, we're going to switch over to our first topic, which the first topic for this tattoo for this podcast, it's something that has honestly changed my life. And not in even the sense of like being Delulu, but it really has changed my life. Like every single time I turn to this, my life gets exceptionally better. And like all of my questions are answered, and my life, like I just get so much growth and so much like goodness out of it every single time I practice it. And that would be manifesting and gratitude. And this is something that you've also experienced lately.
Yeah. Especially, well, I guess my first question to you, since you brought it up first, was like, when did you start getting into it, and like what kind of things were inspiring you to practice it more? Like, were you reading? Were you listening?
Girl, I don't read.
Or were you watching videos?
How did I get into it?
Or I'm sure like the people you hang out with influence that a little bit.
Girl, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't remember. I want to say I probably saw it on social media. Actually, I think like the first seed was learning about like the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. That was years ago, right? And when I first started with that, I don't think I employed it correctly, because I took it as like it was about the time whenever it was like good vibes only type thing, where everybody was like focusing on like only the good things, like blocking out anything that's negative. And so it wasn't very constructive for me. So I don't think it didn't work the same as it does now for me, because I think I employ it in a different way that works way better, that's healthier. But that was probably about like 5 years ago. But then revisiting manifestation. I think it started when I had just moved here, right? And then like 6 months go by, and I was moving out with a friend, and we found this one place that we loved, and it was like 2 doors down from our house. It was the last house that I lived in when they were at.
Yeah, that was a nice house.
Like loved that house, loved it, and it was perfect for us. And so like I wanted that house so bad, and so I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna manifest it. Like I'm just gonna truly believe, because like I have a lot of anxiety, especially like when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, if I just believe that it's already mine, if I believe that it's already like things are already in my favor for it to work out the way that I want, or the way that favors me, like it's already mine. It's already mine, And so I just, like every day, multiple times a day, I like envisioned myself living there, and like what it would look like to live there, and like what it would look like to move in, and just exist in that space. And it worked. Like it ended up being perfect. We had our third roommate that dropped out last minute.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And immediately another girl took her place, and like it was a great experience, and like we all ended up meshing really well. And it was like, dude, it was perfect. It was perfect. And I've done that with a lot of houses that I've lived in, just because like I'm so attached to the places that I live, and they're very closely attached to like my psyche, you know?
That's interesting.
Like or not love, but I have to be comfortable in the place. If I'm not comfortable where I live, I think this is anybody. If you're not comfortable where you live, it affects you, you know? But, and this last, I would say 6 months is when I started practicing it like every day, or at least implementing it more regularly into my schedule and into my life. And I think this is where I've seen like the most progress. Like I wrote down some things about like manifesting. But that's when I would say I've been practicing it seriously for about like the last 6 months.
And you've noticed things becoming more positive in your favor.
Yes, 100%. Like, and I'm a lot more clear-headed. I have a lot less like attachment anxiety towards things and people and outcomes. But when did you start? Is this like, because this is pretty recent for you, right? And how did you find?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was practicing it without realizing I was practicing it also around the time when I first moved here. Just because around the time I literally left in the middle of my semester, went back home, and then this idea came where I was like, I'm going to move to Los Angeles.
Period.
And that was never really a dream. The dream was to move to New York City since I was like in middle school. Like that was like the dream. But then I got rejected from like the theater school that I applied to.
Period.
So I
What
ended
was it?
up.
Is it Juilliard?
Juilliard.
Juilliard. Fuck Juilliard.
No.
Actually, don't fuck Juilliard.
I think it was like what's the school called? I think it was AMDA. It's like the acting theater school. They have a campus here in LA as well.
I ain't the one to know.
But it was the first big audition for a school that I had that I prepared for months for, and I tried so hard, and my entire life was theater for so many years, and then I got rejected. And then after that, I just went to like community college and did theater there, but it wasn't like, again, I left halfway through. So
Go, let's hear it. Drop out. I went for a couple of years.
yeah,
And then
a couple years. Yeah, there you go.
girl, they added math into the mix.
Mine was like science. The math I surprisingly got through because I cheated for like all the semesters, but
I tried to cheat. I literally took the placement exam to get into a math class, and girl, I didn't even place. I literally scored so low on the test that they said there's not even a starting point for you. And so
Nope.
I was like taking classes at the normal university, and then I went to the community college to take a math class. Girl, flunked. Well, I just stopped. I stopped going. Anyways, I just knew that it wasn't for me. Back to your story.
oh, you're good. You're good. Math was so hard. I'm like tearing up thinking about it. So I went back home and I worked my ass off. Like I had 2 jobs. I was working 7 days a week. And during this time, I was just thinking about like the idea came where I wanted to move to LA. I told my parents about it. Obviously, they laughed in my face because they're like, "Who do you know?" I only knew one person to know. Yeah, like what? And then I remember my parents sitting down and being like, "That's not happening."
I imagine your mom's like, her mom's hot. Very
mom's
hot. I imagine her just like
Respectfully.
bouncing her tits and then turning sideways, disappearing, turning away, and walking.
Exactly.
In her
She
solos.
said, "No, it's not gonna happen. Keep dreaming." But
dream on.
But yeah, so during this time I was working 7 days a week, but I would get off sometimes at like 8 because one of the waitressing jobs I had was a newer restaurant, so it was so dead, like so dead. So the first month we were just like business was iffy, and the days that I would get off semi early, I got these roller skates and I would like roller skate down the highway, but you
get a tow from your coworker.
But the reason why I don't know, I would roller skate down the highway, and during this time I would also kind of think about like my life, what it would be like if I had moved to LA, which is kind of crazy because I would think up like what I'm gonna do.
So put a marker in roller skates. We'll come back.
Get roller skates. Well, I mean, you're sitting on there and you're thinking. I mean, the highway was like probably 5 miles long. So I would like roller skate 5 miles that way, and then it's one straight road
Girl.
where I live.
Not a scooter.
No, bitch. But I would think about like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is the people I'm gonna meet. I would think about like friends I was gonna make and like their specific personalities and like
Yes.
very like.
Specificity is like one of the biggest parts.
I think so, but I've always had a very big imagination where like I could see details very clearly.
I have a very picturesque imagination.
Same, and I think in pictures, so it's like it was very clear. Mm-hmm. And 4 months later, I moved to LA with just my carry-on, and I got here and like
Damn, with a carry-on?
just my carry-on. I didn't bring
Slay.
anything else.
Hopped off the plane at LAX.
That's pretty much. But
With my carry-on.
with my
In a car
carry-on
again.
again. Welcome to.
So you got here, you hopped off the plane with your carry-on.
I moved into a 5-person house. It was actually a 3-person house.
Which is very common here, especially if you're looking to move here. A lot of people are pushed, like a lot of sites that you see push you into like the community shared living, where you like share a room with people.
Which I was embarrassed about for the longest time. But then as I've been here for longer, I realized this to be very common.
Well, it's because it's also like it's the only housing that isn't like terrifying.
Yeah. Well, mine was terrifying.
Right, but like it looks nice. Like it looks nice. It's like updated.
Yeah.
And it's like reasonable.
It's definitely more appealing when you're first moving out of a state.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I get to live with a bunch of people and I'll make friends fast, which kind of was the case, but kind of not.
It's giving like adult dorm.
It's giving crack house.
Brothel.
But anyway, but just thinking about those things, I don't know if it's the like I'm attracting those things because I thought of them, or I'm personally gravitating towards that kind of life or those kind of people that I was thinking about. But I felt like everything that I thought of, like what job I was gonna have, what friends I was gonna make, what we would do.
Yeah.
Like even never going to the places here in LA or really knowing anywhere about like the nightlife here, what the bars were like. I've been to so many places where I've sat there and been like, I've been here before.
Girl,
or like I've met this person before.
I've listened as a 13-year-old. I listened to enough Lana Del Rey to know.
Me playing pool with some old ass guy. I've been here.
Yeah.
I envision this. But yeah, I don't even want to talk about how much she has influenced my life as a young lady.
My first concert ever was Lana Del Rey and Courtney Love. Yeah.
I remember when that tour.
Which
I was a sophomore. How old were you? Like 10?
probably. I was old enough for my dad to say no.
I was 16 when that tour came out.
So that means I was
Were
like,
you like 13?
yeah, I was like 13 or 12.
Oh my god.
But here's the thing. I used to listen in the car. Me and my mom used to listen to Lana Del Rey in the car, like on the way to school. And this was when like video games came out. So this was I was probably like 8. And I'm literally in the car going, kiss me on my open mouth. My mom singing along. We'd also listen to like Sexy Back when I was even younger. And I'd be in the back of her Suburban going, like,
Timberlake
bring
was
it to
a
the
staple.
chorus. Oh. Yeah, I lived a very, I was shown too much as a child. Or I was just like given free reign. One time during nap time, me and my brother took the toaster, we unplugged it and brought it upstairs, plugged it in on top of the carpet, toasted a whole loaf of bread, and made bread and jam. Ate like 2 pieces.
Wow.
Fell asleep, melted the carpet.
Wow.
Yeah, girl, we're left unsupervised.
I don't want to say I was left unsupervised, but I had people watching me, but I would plan my sneakiness around when they went to sleep.
She's devious. Oh,
Yeah.
Nightwalker.
Yeah. I was in the middle of the night.
No, more creepy crawly. I definitely had my moments. I knew all the places in the house that would creak, and to avoid them. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm trying to picture us as children, as friends.
Girl, I didn't have any friends. That's like odd period.
I don't think I did.
Until
I always had like a solid one friend.
I think I don't think I had friends. I had one friend since first grade. And I would go over to her house every once in a while. But I was like a loner until I want to say like sixth grade. Then I started talking to people, and then I started to like hang out with people outside of school. But I was like a very late bloomer in all aspects. Anyways, that has nothing to do with manifestation per se. But I've said like so. Manifestation, I gets kind of a bad rap, and I understand. It like totally sounds like you're being straight up delulu
Or
about your
lazy.
about like your situation where you're like,
Yeah.
if I think it'll happen. But no, it's like you think and you do, and the more that you think about something, the more apt you are. Your brain is more trained to be thinking about things, think about that thing, and think about the pathway to get there. So it's like there is kind of a science to it, but it's nice because you have to be intentional about certain things, but it's almost like it's working in the background always. Like all the hard work is being done in the background
Yeah.
because you're training yourself towards the things that you want.
That's true.
So it's not like poof, it's there, but it feels like it. It feels like magic.
Yeah. And also that energy attracts, I feel like, those opportunities and like those people.
Yeah, because
Like wanting to, I don't know. Whenever I try to seek for something and I'm like thinking about it constantly, I feel that it comes more my way. Whereas
yes,
if I'm not thinking about it.
yeah, 100%. And there's a lot of different ways that you can manifest. Personally, the way that I manifest is, which Trisha Paytas, Loki changed my life.
I think Trisha's also a very big influence on me.
Well, and as she started doing like meditations and guided meditations that have been so helpful for me. And recently she had like guided meditations about manifestation and blah 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 blah. So it was kind of more of a crash course on how to do it. In the terms of it was like a template, of like certain things to be thankful of. And so one thing that I do every single morning, and before bed, and right when I wake up, and right before I go to bed, is I think about 5 things that I'm grateful for. Usually 5 things that I'm grateful for, like in that day. And then 5 things that I'm looking forward to. Because it's almost like, it's a gratitude and manifestation. And I think they have to go hand in hand. Because you can't always be wanting. Because that'll...
Definitely have to give back.
Yeah, because if you want and want and want and want, that's never a good... You have to want and then be grateful for the things. And so, like, for example, today, trying to think about the things that I, like, woke up. I was like, 5 things that I was grateful for. I was like, I'm thankful we're restarting the podcast today. I'm thankful I get to see my friend Alexis. I'm thankful I get to try a new boxing class today.
That was fun.
Yesterday I got my tire replaced, and because it had a nail in it, I'm thankful that I get to drive around safely. And then thankful for my health. I'm pretty much always thankful for my health.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like, especially recently, I've been like feeling or having a lot more health issues. And so like being more cognizant of the days that I like feel really, really good. And also grateful for money. I'm always grateful for money. Doesn't matter how much money I have. I always believe that, like, believing that you have a lot of money, not spending like you have a lot of money, but like believing that you have more than enough money does wonders. Every time I believe that I have more than enough money, no matter what my financial situation is, it always rolls in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, going back to Trisha Paytas, she did a video on how before she was like starting out, she would spend money like she had it.
Which sounds crazy to me.
No, yeah, but I tell my friends, because a lot of my friends are very like money conscious and like very much into saving right now.
Oh, bitch, I was the most frugal whore out there.
Yeah.
Like, dude, a frugal frugal. Like, I saved every single fucking penny. Every penny. And that has changed.
I don't think I ever went through a frugal phase. Even before I had a jobs and stuff, I would like make fun of people for being frugal. And I don't know, because I was raised my entire life to like save money. Like my mom was raised me on a waitress's like wage.
Yeah.
As a single mom, so she was always like, do this, do that, do that. So I was like always embedded into my head. But as soon as I kind of started spending money on my own, even not my own money, even as a teenager, I would always like kind of judge people for like my friends like, oh, I don't want to buy that, I don't have money, which obviously things have changed, I don't feel that way, but I should be more frugal. I don't spend my money on just anything, but I'm not gonna lie, I do be spending some cash.
Well, and the thing is, like, I used to very much so, like, I will forego. And I think it's because I grew up with, I grew up with pretty much no money, you know? Like, I grew up pretty poor. And then my dad, like, kind of came into money, but, which, that's a whole cloudy situation. I don't talk to my parents. But, you know, like, the dichotomy of having divorced parents and, like, one of them has no money, one of them has some money. You know, like, you kind of get to see both sides. And my mom was terrible with her money. Like, terrible. And my dad was better about it. And so I kind of got to see both sides. But I think I was in such a scarcity mindset. And this kind of ties in. A scarcity mindset that I was always telling myself, I'm like, oh, you don't have enough money. Oh, one day you're not going to have enough money. And so that's why I was always saving. Like, one day you're not going to have enough. One day you're not going to have enough. Blah, blah, blah. I was always worried about that. And even if I was saving money, you know, I just wasn't buying anything. I was foregoing, like, I wasn't going out to dinners. I wasn't, you know, like, doing activities and such. And then I would say probably like 6 months ago, and this is among like this is within the strike, you know, so I'm making way less money to begin with, you know, just because we're striking. And I started to spend more on things that made me feel good, not just like random ass purchases, but like things like, you know, like a new duvet, things that generally bring me more comfort and make my life easier. I started to spend money on those things, you know, and like the other day I was debating, I was like, oh, should I buy like these colognes? And I was like, you know what? Everyone's like, I love fragrances. And when I'm walking around and I like smell something, it always has like such a big impact on it grabs my attention immediately. And so I'm like, in that sense, it's worth it, because every time I smell it, it'll have like a positive reaction, you know? And that's just one small thing in your day that will, you know, boost you for like 2 seconds, or for longer. And the more, even like Trisha said, the more that it seems the more that I've spent, the more money comes in, you know? And like the more that I've continued to spend on things that I like and things that bring me comfort and peace, the more like job offers I get, the better job offers I get, the more like side hustle things that come my way. Like the money like comes from the craziest places, you know. And I'm not saying that nobody like sends me money, you know, like I'm not like getting like parents or like relatives or friends, like nobody's sending me money. It's all money that I'm making, you know. But it comes from like the craziest places that I would never expect. And that didn't happen to me until I started manifesting money, and until I started like spending money like that.
Yeah. And like you said, there's definitely a science behind that. When you buy things that bring you more comfort or make you feel more confident, you probably like work harder in some areas, or you feel better about yourself, so you take more opportunities, or like approach people much more than you would when you weren't feeling more of yourself, I guess.
Yes, exactly. And I think especially things that help you strengthen your identity, you know, like for example, clothes. You know, if like nothing's just like fitting right anymore, you know, and which also pause to say that, you know, not everybody's in this financial situation. There are some, I'm like very blessed to be in a financial situation where I have the option to even buy new clothes, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not living like so stringently. Like I don't have dependents, I don't have kids. So that's also like a factor, but that's why you start manifesting, because ultimately like it helps build that up, you know? And it's not like poof, it'll just be there, but it does, you know, those little things that slowly build you up and make you better and make you feel better open you up to so many more opportunities. So many more opportunities.
I agree with that.
And and we're back. I don't remember where we were. Good.
You're talking about how we're fortunate enough.
Oh yes, like luckily we're in a position to spend money to make more money, but you know those small little steps and small little things that you can do to slowly to convince yourself that you are worthy of these things goes a long way. Goes a long way.
It really does.
But I feel like the easiest way is to just the 5 things that you're grateful for, 5 things you're looking forward to.
I'm definitely going to take that into my own personal life. I feel like I should do that more.
And it's easy. It's easy. I feel like you haven't done it all day. It's easy just to throw it in. It takes 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really easy to think about. Another thing is if there's a specific thing or outcome that you're trying to manifest, like you're saying, you envision it. And by that, it means like, you know, if you're closing your eyes and you're thinking about it, what does it look like? Like if you were to take a picture of it, what does it look like? Like, what are you wearing? Who are you with? What does it smell like? What are you holding? Those like small little, what are you noticing?
Yeah,
You know, like
in the conversations that you're having with these people.
What are people saying?
Yeah.
What like emotions are you expressing? Like if you were to think about if you were like making a movie of that moment and everything that went into it, you know, that's a really easy way to envision it.
Right.
And because it's all about envisioning and imagining yourself in that space until it comes into fruition.
And also this works if you feel like, I know some people have trouble sitting there and like thinking with their thoughts. Something that's helped me too is writing it down. Like writing details down. I like to journal, so I'll write like little stories, mostly for myself, never to put out, but I'll envision how a conversation is going, or like again, a certain person that I will meet and like what we're talking about, and a lot of the time that will manifest itself later.
Yeah, like paper to pen.
Yeah, and I have literally shown someone from my journal like, this is the exact conversation we've had. Like, I'm telling you, this is like we've been here before.
Well, yeah, and it's like it really does happen like that.
Yeah.
Like it really does happen like that. And it sounds far-fetched.
It's a bit strange. I still wonder about it.
Yeah, like it sounds far-fetched until it happens. And then it's like, to me it still does feel like magic just because it's like kind of ingrained. And I think the moment that you start doubting is the moment that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like you have to believe in your heart of hearts that whatever you're trying to manifest is true and is real and is going to happen.
Yeah.
Even if it's not in the moment, you know, it's like, for example, something that I'm manifesting, I'm like, I manifest myself having like a beautiful relationship with a guy, in like the house that we'll be in and the car that I'll drive, you know, and like things that are easy to imagine. And I replay that in my head. Girl, I was listening to bring up Lana Del Rey again. I was listening to Margaret. Have you heard that song?
I have heard that song.
Oh,
It's
when
so
you
good.
know, you know. Anyway, so I was closing my eyes, laying in my bed. I literally threw all the fucking pillows on the floor, and I'm laying cross, you know, like
Like, come to me.
yes, like Jesus. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, I'm listening to the song, and I'm just imagining getting like swept up by a man. Anyways, beautiful, and it's good for your daydream. Like I feel like I used to daydream all the time as a kid.
Me too.
And daydreaming, you know, it's in a way that doesn't leave you longing. It leaves you hopeful.
That's true.
You know, because we're like, oh, fuck yeah, like that really can exist and that truly can happen. You know, instead of being like, oh, it leads you to a place of like, okay, what can I do next to get there.
That's true. And when you feel like an opportunity is presenting itself that feels similar, you're
Yeah.
more inclined to be like, "Ooh, I need to do this." Or
Because it's like, oh,
I
it's
need to
part of
say
my
yes
path.
to this person.
And it's manifesting should not induce anxiety. It should be anxiety free. You know.
Actually, I find that it helps with my anxiety. I'm a very anxious person naturally.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm like practicing gratitude or manifesting, I find a lot more relaxed afterwards. Like, oh, things are going to be
You're
okay.
centered.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Things are going to be okay. Because I'm definitely like I create a lot of the problems in my head, but when I can like slow down, it's like any type of meditation, you know. But I just feel like it's so much more powerful when you can kind of harness it. Because at first, like you definitely have to bridge the gap between it, like you starting out, it doesn't feel like quite natural, like going to like the gym or starting like a sport or a skill. It's like it doesn't feel super natural at first, but then once you build the habit, it becomes a little bit more ingrained in you, and it's easier to believe these things without like one of the things that I manifest, I learned from Trisha Paytas, is be like to literally say like, and you can say these things out loud or in your head, be like, I have $1 million. I have $1 million in my bank account. I am so thankful for the $1 million in my bank account. Girl, I don't have $1 million. But like, girl, the fuck? I do not have $1 million.
But you feel like $1 million.
But the
You're
thing,
like everything's
eventually, eventually,
one day.
um, and it's all just part of the process, and it makes me feel more hopeful. It isn't like, it's not like a grind mindset. We're like, okay, now how am I gonna get $1 million?
Right.
It's just the more I say that, and the more I think that, girl, the more money rolls in. Which, like being freelance, obviously I like work gigs, and I work like different movies and commercials and like TV shows, and within because after I've manifested, I have worked probably a quarter as much and made just as much money because I've been manifesting. And it's like I think it's totally linked, and it makes me more confident in the workplace. It makes me more confident in myself, and being able to kind of release to a higher power and a higher plan makes things feel so much easier, like so much better, so much more comfortable. The universe has a plan for you, and the universe wants to see you succeed. That's another thing you have to remember. It's like the universe wants to see you succeed, and obviously hardship comes with that. But like ultimately, girl, you've survived every day that you haven't or that you've lived.
Yeah.
Like the worst day you will have is the day you're not alive. Sorry.
I remind myself of that.
Period.
What's that quote? It's like you've made it 100 and blah, 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 blah. You have to count how many days you've been alive.
A lot.
And it's like you've made it so and so days, and then when you look at that number, you're like, holy shit, not a lot of people have this privilege.
True. True.
Which is it's like a small overlooked blessing to come home. You know what? Something I've been practicing lately that's been coming to my mind. Maybe it's because I live in like not the best area, but like when I'm home, I'll take like a minute or two to be like, thank you for being safe.
Yes.
Like just being safe, like being home.
Well, and that's that. Yes, and that's another, especially living in a place that most of the time you're unsafe. Like there's pretty much always danger.
Yeah.
In LA, like everywhere you look, you're pretty much always in danger's way or in harm's way.
Yeah.
Like if I'm away from my car if I can't see my car, it's locked. Even if I'm like running in and grabbing something. But yeah, you would be again being grateful, being like, oh, I'm so glad I got home safe today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that I have a place to come home to, that I am safe. I'm so glad that I'm so glad I have water and food to drink today. I'm so glad, like even those small I'm glad I had a hot shower. I'm glad I had a towel to dry myself off with. Like once you get into those nitty gritty little things that are especially our basic needs, especially if not all your needs are being met, if you can at least dig into some of them, it makes you feel better.
That's true. And also with my current job, we get so many because the job is becoming increasingly popular. A lot of people like to send in like food for us, or like free drinks, and like free trips, or like opportunities to go to like the Beverly Wilshire and meet groups of people you normally wouldn't meet.
Mixers, per se.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I was talking to my boss about this, mostly just thanking her. She doesn't like when we thank her personally for like these opportunities, because it's not like entirely her. But like, had I not met her, I wouldn't have these experiences. Or like, every time I come into work, most of the time I come into work, we have like free food and drinks,
Yeah.
which saves the average person so much money. And I don't think a lot of us think about that. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, any type of like nourishment, I think, is so. You should like that's so something to be grateful for, no matter what it is. Like the fact that your body is being nourished in some type of way is like something that is unique to you and that not everybody experiences on like such a low down, simple level. Like it's sick. It's sick that we get to nourish our bodies on the daily and like look forward to nourishing our bodies, you know?
yeah, or we like expect it already.
Yeah, and like and those little things like at work, sick, you know, like a little treat. And a little treat does fucking wonders for your psyche.
That's true. Like little,
Treating yourself, it's quite literally treating yourself.
or being treated.
Yes, being treated. And that's like such a thing to be, and to be thankful not only for that item or that thing itself, but to be thankful to the person that opened you up to that. Being thankful for people and timing is also it such an amazing and powerful thing. Like learning to be thankful for people, you know, and what they do for you.
Yeah.
Not in a transactional way, but being thankful that these people have led you to be at certain places and certain times, you know? Like I have one client who like I represent his house, and you know, like he calls me every once in a while just to check up on me, which is so sweet. You know, it's like it is a business thing.
Yeah.
But he calls me and just be like, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" You know? And the other day I was talking with my sister because like it seems like whenever good things happen to me, good things happen to her, because we're always talking about it to each other. We always like are manifesting together, and we ask each other for help manifesting, which that's another thing. You can totally ask other people for help manifesting. I ask my friends to help me manifest things all the time.
Or to extend that energy
Yeah.
towards someone else.
And to be like, what can I manifest for you? What can I envision? You know?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm envisioning this in my brain. I'm also envisioning my friend getting this job or this happening to them, or, you know? So it like goes both ways. The fuck was I talking about? What was my original tangent? Do you remember?
You were talking to one of your clients, and he checks up.
Oh, I was talking to my sister. You know, we were like manifesting, be like, you know what, like, I want to start working again. Like the strike is just about to end. You know, like I'm ready to work again. And we're talking about things are, you know, in our favor. The universe wants good things for us. And like I know I'm gonna be busy soon, like really really busy again. And he calls me later that afternoon. He's like, "Hey, I'm starting to do events at my property, and I want you to be like my guy that manages all that, you know." So it's like, boom, super easy side money, and you know, it's like it's almost like it was like instant gratification, which doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
But it's nice when it does.
There are like sweet moments like that. It's just like, it almost feels like, oh, this just came out of nowhere.
Well, and immediately.
Or you weren't trying. Or you feel like you weren't like sitting down, like manifesting, or just, you're practicing it naturally. So it's like instant.
And instead of, you know, being met with that opportunity and being met with like, oh, fuck, what is that going to mean? Is it going to be hard? Blank, blank, like all these like question marks. Instead of question marks popping up, it's like an affirmation where I'm like, fuck yeah. Be like, see, I'm grateful. It's immediately I'm met with gratitude. I feel like it trains me to meet opportunities with gratitude instead of anxiety, which is huge for me. You know? It's like, because I feel like I've always used to meet everything with a question mark, and now it's met, like it's embraced rather than questioned. It teaches you how to embrace your blessings instead of question them.
Like that.
Yeah, girl, give myself snaps.
But yeah,
Sit on that.
I definitely need to incorporate more of it. I feel like as much as I have like certain areas of my life where I definitely practice it a lot more, and then certain where I don't. Like when I wake up in the morning,
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like lately, because with everything that's going on, when I wake up, it's more like, ugh, like I'm just thinking about like how awful things are gonna be, and
Right, you're met with that question mark.
yeah,
Which I feel like is pretty, like, I feel like that's a pretty normal experience to be
yeah.
like, to immediately be like,
And I hate that because
oh,
it's like it's not like fortunately my life is not that
cumbersome.
scary or yeah or like scary or anxiety ridden. Even though I have a lot of anxiety, I think about like my day at the end of the day and I'm like, what was
You're covered.
yeah, like what was I so worried about? But then the next day comes and it's like a cycle where I feel it all over again.
Yeah.
I think I'm in this stage right now where I'm very grateful for the things I have, but I'm also unsure, which leads to fear.
Yeah.
And honestly, that could just be fixed with more like
Affirmation.
check-ins. Yeah, like affirmations for sure. That usually helps, especially in the moment when I'm freaking out. Something that I found like in the middle when I am freaking out, like when I'm dealing with a complicated person or I'm having a difficult conversation, I'm always like constantly reminding myself like this is not that bad. This is not that bad. Like
Realistically, like, if you were to simplify it and you're to take your, like, conversation, if you were to write it down, or if you were to tell yourself about it in, like, 30 minutes,
yeah,
sometimes it is fucking traumatic. Sometimes you go through trauma and, bitch, it happens, But I think it also teaches you, like, learning to be grateful for those things. I mean, don't get it twisted to be like, oh, I'm grateful for this fucked up thing that happened to me. But to be grateful for how to find a way to look at the how it's dichotomy of it causing you pain but also causing you growth, and figuring out how to be thankful for that growth. I feel like ultimately helps me heal and helps me, helps it pass through so much easier. Like, I don't hold on to things as much if I'm able to be grateful for them, because it's like the last stage of grief, almost being grateful for figuring out how it's like something that's bad that's happened to you, and figuring out how to be like, oh, it's actually good for me, you know? And I mean, obviously, fucking car, like, for example, a car accident, not a lot of good in that, you know? But just an example would be like, well, it's different for everybody to be like, well, I'm so grateful I had a safe vehicle. I'm so grateful I didn't fucking die,
right.
Like, as heavy as that is, like, there's always something to be grateful for, and not to discount any, like, a shitty situation is a shitty situation. But if eventually you can look at it in hindsight and be grateful for it, then it starts to serve you.
What's something that you feel you have to remind yourself to be more grateful in, or you find yourself like, okay, I have been taking this for granted? Like, where are some areas in your life where you feel like you take for granted?
Day to day, basic needs. Being like, girl, I was able to turn on every light that I wanted to. I was able to run hot water when I wanted to. I was able to go to the fridge, and if I didn't have anything in the fridge, I'm able to go to the store.
Yeah.
That is, like, not always a luxury that people are afforded. And so, oh, bitch, something I've been so grateful for lately is sleep. Sleep is a luxury. And sleep is something that I value so highly.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to not have a lot of sleep issues. And I'm so thankful that every night I get to sleep and, like, have a time to rejuvenate and to reset my body. Like, that is so underrated. Sleep is so underrated. The fact that I am able to get sleep and able to rest my body every single day. That's a dog. She's agreeing. Is amazing.
We interrupted her sleep. That's why she's saying that.
Exactly. And it's like, that's something that not every day I remind myself that I'm, like, super grateful for.
Yeah, that's something I didn't even think of till you said it.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. I mean, I don't sleep a lot because I feel like my schedule is so hectic nowadays. But even the 5 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours I get, I feel like it's a lot more than
Yeah.
someone who can't, you know,
And it's a
afford
time that
that luxury.
you're at peace. Yeah, because like when
Very true.
I'm working, sometimes like my sleep schedule gets all types of fucked up, like all types of fucked up. But finding pockets where I can be grateful, be like, well, you know, eventually I'll be able to sleep my 8 hours again, or, you know, at least I was able to get 5 hours. That rocks.
Mm.
That rocks that I was able to, you know, put that gas back in my tank. You know. Um. What's something that you think you're really good at being grateful for?
Ooh. Just my life now compared to the life I have, considering I didn't finish school. I don't have like a corporate level job.
That's the dog.
I know. I wonder what they.
But
She's really enjoying these head rubs.
it's because you got acrylics.
I know.
But yeah, like being thankful.
Yeah, well, that I think about that all the time because I have friends back home who are in the same boat. Mostly because like maybe they couldn't afford to finish school, or maybe they just didn't know what they were gonna do with it, so they figured like save the money and then live at home, get a house, whatever. I feel like I hear from them and they say how they wish they had done more, and that the reason why they feel so unhappy is because they didn't finish what they started. And I always think like, well, that's not necessarily true, because I mean, when people ask back home like, how are you doing it, I don't really know how to answer that question.
Because you do it.
Yeah.
You put yourself in the situation and you have faith in the fact that you will figure it out. Because the day that you don't figure out is the day that you're what? Dead. You always figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, you'll always figure it out. You will always figure it out. No matter what the timeline is. Forgetting timeline, too. Letting go of a timeline. Having goals, but letting go of a timeline is huge.
That's true.
Like,
And
you'll
not,
figure it
yeah. I find that my life feels much more fulfilling when I'm not comparing myself to someone else's. Or, yeah. I used to be very heavy on the comparing. Very much so. But then when I came here, when you come here to LA, you meet so many people in so many different spots in their journey.
Yeah.
At so many different ages that it's almost like comforting. Even when I meet people who are younger than me, and it's like I have a coworker who just moved to LA and they're 17.
Yeah.
And I think about like, oh wow, they're literally here. I came here when I was 20, but like I think about like that 3 extra years, and then I stop myself because it's like I have everything I need.
And you're like, whoa, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Whoa, doesn't matter.
But there are times where I'm like, oh, if I was here when I was 17, I could do this. Obviously, your mind's gonna naturally go, like, I could do this and this and this and that.
But false. That's literally false.
Yeah.
Because.
But then you listen to this little 17-year-old, and they're like, I'm grateful to have the wisdom that I did when I was 17 and where I was at then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I learned those lessons at that age. I don't know if I'd be the same person if I was learning the lessons I learned when I was 20, when I was 17.
Yeah.
So I constantly have to remind myself, like, there is a reason why everyone's at a certain point. And that helps with the comparing.
Well, and it's
for
also,
sure.
everybody is so complex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody's so complex. It's impossible to compare yourself. Like, I'm sorry, everybody that you meet is oranges to apples. Like, even my sister, who I consider to be literally me with a wig. Well, she has hair. It's not a wig. Me with long hair. Me with extensions. Like, you know, as much as I consider her to be the closest thing to me that I know, I can't compare myself to her. I just can't, because we are, no matter how you slice it, you are not similar to anybody. You know? Like, we're similar enough to relate to other people, but you are so complex in your own... We're too complex. We're way too complex.
Yeah. Like, have you ever met the same person twice?
No.
right?
Like, I'm sure you may meet like an archetype that seems similar.
No, but I mean, like, I was thinking about this today, where it's like I was talking to one of my friends, and they were going through a hard time, so I was trying to reassure them. And the first thing that I could think of was like, I've never met anyone like you, which is a very common saying, right? Like we say that to like people that we like or love or care
Yeah,
for.
but I would. It's like intimate when you're
Yeah,
saying it.
but I was thinking about it, and it's like obviously it's the first thing that came up, and I was like, does this feel like a little too cliche? But then at the same time, I was like, no, like I've never met anyone like this person. And I think about like all the experiences I've had, all the people I've been like either forced to meet or like I've approached.
And the places you've been.
Yeah. And like I've been to like, I think you could say this for yourself too. Like we've been to very different places all over. And I've never met an individual like this. And I think about this for myself as well when I feel down or I feel like I'm not interesting enough or like complex enough. Where it's like, does
Yeah.
anyone feel this way about me? In the fact where it's like, I bring a light to their life that normal people in their lives wouldn't bring to theirs.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I
Yeah.
think we have this fascination of like being more interesting than most people.
Especially here,
Yeah.
because everybody's pushing like your MO. Everybody's MO is like push the envelope, and to be unique because
Yeah.
there is so much diversity. It's like you have that open space to do so. So it's like fuck it, I want to like full throttle.
Yeah. And then people make their living off of that.
Yeah.
Which is another.
Monetizing that is, I feel like a hard knock. Like I can't imagine. I feel like that'd be a very hard knock.
Yeah. But it's easy to be like, why am I not there? Why am I not like this? But yeah, I was thinking about that today. Just
Which yeah, and I think I've heard that compliment before where it's like you're such a light. And I think before I took that so lightly. Like I took that compliment so lightly to where now I'm in the space where I'm like thinking about the people that truly do bring a light to my life and I'm like,
it makes
that is
such
sick.
a difference.
like that is so sick that somebody like considers you to be a source of light in their life.
Yeah.
You know, and to be unique enough to bring that much of a unique positive influence is that is one of the most underrated compliments ever.
I agree. I like those.
That you're a light.
Or even subtle, like, oh, I didn't know you were going to be here today. And, like, just seeing you made me so happy or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I get that at work sometimes because our job is so lenient where it's like if someone wants to not work that day, they'll ask me and then I'll just come in a lot of time because I'm, like, a lot more. My time is more lenient.
Yeah.
So I'll show up and then people will make that comment, which I try not to take lightly because it means a lot.
Well, yeah.
Even when you were talking to my boss today, and she was like, "What's the best thing about that last job?" You were like,
Alexis.
I was like,
Which is yeah, because we met at the first job I ever had in LA, and I truly believe that that was the purpose of that job. The purpose of that job was for me to meet you.
"Oh,
Because girl, they're like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, there's not anything else that really pokes out to me. I had that job for 2 weeks, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't necessarily consider I don't feel like I learned any other lessons. There's nothing else that I picked up and kept with me, except for you, you know. And that's such a short time period that I'm like, and especially when I moved to LA, I was like, I don't know anybody. Like I know one person,
same."
and that relationship is fragile, you know? And yeah, like when I first moved here, I mean, because I'm very much so, I love my solo time. Very much so a solo person.
Me too.
A lone wolf.
Oh.
Sorry, dog.
Will and I were practicing
Sorry,
our
Kelly.
wolf.
Do your bird? I know, huh? It's giving pavilion. But wait, what were we just talking about?
How not to toot my own horn, but I was what stuck out.
Yes. And when I moved here, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna work for a month, just because I want to acclimate and like really fall into my footsteps. And I was like, you can't. It's hard to do that alone. Like, you need to meet some people.
Yeah.
And, like, the only thing I was doing was, like, going to the gym. And at that point in my life, I was so focused on being frugal, especially just because I moved here and I, like, have my savings, but I have no safety net, you know? It's like I'm my own safety net. There's, like, not anybody that I can, like, ask for help. And so I think I was, like, so, again, survival oriented and, like, scarcity mindset. And so I wasn't really, like, taking those chances. I wasn't, like, going out and doing things. And so I feel like it definitely held me back. And then as soon as I started to kind of do those things and, you know, things that cost a little bit of money, it's like every time I do that, I would make that money back. I would make more money back, and I was so much better for it. You know, so it's like you don't want to be frivolous with your money, but to understand how it can serve you and to understand that it will come back. Boomerang, bitch. Okay, and then we'll wrap it up with just something that it can either be like a fucking sick deal that you found this week. Be like, oh, blah 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 has blah 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 $4 or $5, you know, or a habit that you've implemented into your life that's been super super helpful, or like anything that's kind of like changed your week, you know.
Ooh, that's a good one. I did think about this earlier. What's something that's changed my week?
A little thing that's changed my week is
He said I'll go first.
one thing about me is I will always go first. Take that as you will. I'm not saying it's a positive thing.
It's okay.
But I will always.
That's okay.
I will always go first.
I was like, one thing about
Wait, did you think of something?
about
Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
wait, I think I know. That's like helped me throughout the week, just like we were talking about, especially with everything in our climate in the world. I've been thinking about just how important safety is. How I guess underrated the feeling of being safe is.
Storing a knife in your cuckoo.
Yeah. Oh, and just like, well, as we were talking about Citizen, and I get so many Citizen alerts where I live, and just reading them, and then just being able to, like, even just walking and not even being able to experience the stuff that you're reading in the areas where you're being alerted, like that, I feel like in a way I'm being protected.
Yeah.
That could be, I don't know. I don't give credit to anything to that. I just have that feeling. You know? Just that has helped me with my week, just making me feel like I feel like I'm being protected.
You have people watching.
Yeah.
Their eyes. Their other eyes. Good eyes.
Yeah, I don't know whose eyes. I know a lot of people say in the spiritual sense that like ancestors
at that fucking green cottage.
It's an orange ass phone.
Yes, girl.
Spooky season?
I guess. I also have the same phone casing in green, so it's like Applejack's.
Okay. He just changes it.
Anyways.
But yeah, I've been thinking about that. Maybe we'll save that for another one. Like,
okay.
If we talk about like spiritual stuff, that's another thing. I feel like more and more, as the older I get, especially, I feel more connected to like the spiritual world. I don't know. Again, I don't give credit to any certain part of the spiritual world yet. But
yeah, I'm not like a fucking guru.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely only know what works for me.
Yeah, but just stuff like that. Maybe it's just being privileged. I don't know.
Well, and I think being, like, acknowledging privilege, too.
Yeah.
And, like, acknowledging privilege and learning how to, like, free your ego also does wonders.
I agree.
But
what's something that's helped you through your week?
Having 2 laundry hampers.
Oof. You should have gone first.
Which this is, yeah, listen.
Wait. Hampers?
Hamper.
Hamper.
Yeah, like the Hamptons.
Hamper.
Hampers. Okay.
Hamper.
Why so many?
Okay, so I was in Colorado, and we were visiting a world market, and do you know like the braided kind of like nice like blanket bag, like baskets, like braided, like they're
Yeah.
made of like wood or whatever the fuck they're, and I love those, right? But they're usually pretty expensive. They're like $50, which is fucking crazy,
Wow.
crazy.
I didn't know. I
But
don't own one.
it was on sale for 75% off at World Market, and they're also doing 20% off with clearance. So I ended up paying $5 for this little thing that I love. And I was back in Colorado, but I drove. And so I drove back with it. Anyways, and I already had a hamper, which I was like, fuck, what do I do with this hamper? Because I like decluttered my room this week. Oh, that's another thing I'm so grateful for. Girl, get rid of it. Whatever it is, get rid of it. Get rid of it, except for if it's two
nice
hampers.
Fucking room.
Um,
How do I take notes from this?
Well, I threw away all my dead plants. If a plant doesn't live with my lifestyle, like if it doesn't meet my lifestyle, dead. The plants that keep up with my lifestyle are the plants that will stay. I'm not spending any extra fucking headspace trying to tend to a plant. Girl.
Yeah, I feel like your last bedroom had a bunch of plants, right? That shit was all
Yep.
plant. I was like, wow.
Well, yeah, now they're dead.
I was like, how do you have time for this?
But I feel more free
Okay.
because I'm not like worrying about all these little plants. I'm like, oh god, I have to go water them.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic of plants. I've never gone into it.
Yeah, and all my plants that I have now are fucking thriving and living. They're like all the same type of plant, but.
Do you water them?
What?
You water them?
When I think about it.
Okay.
I was gone for a month and a half and I didn't water shit.
And they're okay?
I came back and they're good.
That's a good plant.
But having two hampers, it's nice because I have one in my bathroom and one in my room. And so it's just like, it's so minute. It is literally so minute. But it's just having something pretty in my room and something more functional in my bathroom. And so like I'll throw my towels, or like I throw my towels, the last things to come off my body, which are like undies and socks. And then I throw like all my regular clothes in the hamper in my room. It just feels more organized, And so like in a small way, it makes me feel like I have my shit together a little bit more. And it looks better.
It definitely looks like you have your shit together when you see a hamper in there.
And it just like genuinely looks better. So
I should take note of that. I just lay all my stuff on the floor.
usually I do too. This first, having two hampers is the first time that I've like really employed them. Because normally I'm like, well, these clothes aren't like dirty because I rewear my clothes a lot, before I wash them. Like unless they smell or have a stain, I'm not washing them.
I can tolerate the stain.
Oh, well, I'll tolerate the stain. Girl, I literally have stain on my pants.
Me too. I have like pasta sauce on my pants.
But until I have to wash them. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'll string it out.
Like when you get ringworm, you're like.
Yes, when I get ringworm. When I get ringworm, that's when I do laundry.
I'm not speaking for
Yes, girl, when I see worms, when I get maggots, when I get
bed bugs.
that's usually, oh my god, the Parisian bed bugs.
That is a topic.
That mess, I know.
We're terrified.
Yeah, I don't have ringworm. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It was just a joke. It's just a joke.
So yeah, having two hampers, but I recommend it if you can find another one for like $5.
I'm gonna have to implement that into my life.
Yeah, girl, go to Cost Plus World Market.
I sure will.
I almost plugged Amazon Prime because they're doing their like Prime deals, and I realized, girl, no, evil. I'm not, but I'm sure as fuck not plugging Amazon Prime. If I'm plugging anything, it is not Amazon Prime. Fuck her. I had something else to add. Girl, I don't know what it was. Anyways, pretty soon here, we'll have a name. Well, by the time we post this, I'll have a solidified name. But
Okay. We'll manifest it.
Period.
Oh, just.
I will go to bed tonight and I will wake up with a name.
Yeah, actually, we should do that. It's like tomorrow I will have the name.
I am grateful for the name that we thought of.
Let's see what we both come up with. I'll text you as soon as I wake up.
Girl, I hope that you find out. I hope that you manifest it.
I'm
before I
manifesting
do.
that it will come to me in my dreams.
I don't have dreams. I manifest that it'll come to me in my conscious.
You don't have dreams?
No,
Are you on the spectrum?
that's a loaded topic. That is a loaded topic. That is a loaded topic.
Next one.
Yeah, maybe the next. Anyways, yeah, I haven't had dreams in forever. The one of the only dreams that I remember, my brother had the exact same dream on the same night, and it was about alien abduction.
I think that means you were abducted.
I think so.
I don't think that was a dream.
Well, yeah,
I
because
fully believe in that.
I went to sleep early because I had a fever, and then I woke in my dream. I woke up, went downstairs, and my mom was re-piercing my mom was re-piercing my sister's ear, and she was passed out. Then I walk out the front door and I look towards the park by our house, and there are aliens that are green and orange aliens that are filing out of the UFO and shuffling down our street, and I'm terrified, and I run back inside, and that's when my dream ends. And so the next morning I wake up, after being sick for a 24-hour virus thing. I wake up and we're eating breakfast, and I was I had the craziest dream last night. I walked downstairs and Megan was getting her ear re-pierced, and I was my mom was we pierced her ears last night and she passed out, and I was and I dreamt that, and I was already asleep, and there was no talks about it earlier in the day. And then my brother goes, oh my god, and then did you go outside and then there was green and orange aliens coming out of UFO, and then they were walking down the street, so we had the same dream.
Shut up.
We had the same dream.
That's fucked up.
Same fucking dream.
That's fucked up.
And I haven't had dreams since. So, well, I've had a couple here and there, but they're honest. My dreams usually don't happen unless they're fucked up. They're usually not very lighthearted. But anyways, thank you for listening. We'll probably have lighting next episode.
we got the living room light.
Girl, I bought a camera for this. I done bought a camera.
I can bring my...
Ring light. Yeah, we're gonna be ring light out.
You could see my purse.
Ring light OC. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen to us. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Grateful for you.
Yes. Yeah, period. Great. I don't know who's listening, but I'm grateful for you. Peace and blessings.
Love and peace.
Love and peace. Gratitude. Grateful for you. All right, kisses.